chocolates, macaroons, biscuits, eclairs. Oh my god, is this what heaven looks like? Nope, it's just a supermarket in Lisbon. Let's talk about my day 4 in Lisbon, which includes a trip to this veritable paradise of sugary delights. Welcome to Sunny Escapades. We are talking about my trip to Lisbon, which is a nice, fantastic city, and we have covered 3 days of the whole story because I tell you everything in detail so that you can enjoy that if you cannot go, and if you do go, then you can take advantage of some of the things that I did right and learn from some of the things that I did wrong. So let's carry on with day 4. On day 4, I did not go for a walk. I think I was getting a bit tired because I was walking a lot when I went for sightseeing, so I was not feeling the need to go for a walk in the morning as well. But I did get up early, and I won't bore you with the details of the breakfast in the hotel, but let me just repeat that it was a nice breakfast, the same thing every day, but the same thing had a lot of variety, and by now I knew all the things that were good in there, so, and especially all the things that were vegetarian and good in there, so I knew what to make. So I used to just make a little bit of a sandwich with a bread bun and then some scrambled eggs in there, and their white cheese was really nice. It was so smooth. Those blocks, I used to have one block every day because it was just so lovely. It was very smooth and flavor but not salty or anything, so it was very good. Then yeah, after that, because I was working in the daytime, so nothing exciting there, just normal IT job, working from that little breakfast table in the room with the chair that the hotel had replaced for me, which was better than the other ones. And then after working for a few hours, then I could take my lunch break, and this time I did not have a cold pizza left over from last night. Let's just leave it at that. So I wanted to just go out and eat outside. I took the easy route and went for Americans. Went to the little market, the El Corte Inglés nearby, which was about 5 minutes walk from my hotel. And the reason was that they had a whole floor of lots of different shops. Okay, so they supposedly had proper restaurants as well on the upper floor, but I never strayed from this one floor. Once I found it, I just stayed with it. This is me in a nutshell. Once I find something I like, I stay with it. So I just went to that because it had lots of different shops, which were like lots of deli, sandwich shops, all kinds of different shops selling all kinds of different things. So I thought, okay, in this much variety of shops with this much variety of food, I would probably want something that's nice and also vegetarian. I'm sure to find something there. Wrong answer. I asked at a few different shops and I met this whole Portuguese honesty again, where they said, nope, we don't have anything vegetarian. I've never seen that before in any country. Okay, even in Germany, they used to have some stuff which was made of potatoes or something like that, or at least they would offer you a salad. Here, there were some shops that were really attractive in the way that their showcases were full of these like triangular things and round things, and something that looked like sandwich, something that looked like baguettes, and something that had green stuff in there, like, spinach and rocket and things like that. So I thought, okay, maybe something there would be vegetarian. In one shop, I actually I stayed in a line for about 5-10 minutes. Then I asked them, because I was very sure that some of those things were probably sweet and vegetarian. I was like, okay, I'll have it. But no, they said, nope, that nothing is vegetarian. Nope. So I think it might be not just the ingredients, but maybe the way they cook them, or the kind of oil they use, or sometimes, like when you go to Costa and if you are getting a vegetarian panini, then, and you give it to them to heat up, they have 2 different heating machines, like heating presses, where they heat stuff up. So one is for vegetarian, one is for non-vegetarian. I've seen them with my own eyes and I've asked them. But sometimes what would you do if you didn't have it? Like for example, the first time when I went to US, then the very first day when I got to the cafeteria for lunch, in the office cafeteria, I asked them what they had. They had two things only. One was a grilled vegetables and something else as well. Just that. The problem with that was that they had one big hot plate with some grease or oil or something on there, and they were making the grilled vegetables on the exact same spot where they were making chicken like half a second ago. So yeah, it's can be a bit difficult sometimes for vegetarians, especially vegetarians like me. Because if you have had meat all your life and then you became vegetarian, it's a different thing. You don't feel the same level of blockage, mind block, or whatever you want to call it. With me, it's different. That I've never had meat, so I can't have meat. I want to stay away from everything. And sometimes, like McDonald's, if you go to McDonald's, you can buy fries. Fries are vegetarian in the way that they have potatoes, but they are not vegetarian because of the oil that they cook them in. So if you go to McDonald's, you definitely cannot have the fries if you're vegetarian. I don't know if it's the same thing in India, but in UK, it's like that. They have told me themselves. So anytime something looks like vegetarian, now I have got into the habit of asking them, and then sometimes you find out that, okay, this is not actually vegetarian because of the way they cook it. So probably it was the same reason that the Portuguese shopkeepers were telling me, we don't have anything for you, because although the thing itself might be vegetarian, but they might be preparing those sandwiches or those baguettes in a place where meat was also being used, and they were using them without changing gloves and stuff like that. That's the reason I don't have Subway anymore, because Subway is supposed to have change gloves when they handle vegetarian and non-vegetarian things. They don't always, so I stopped eating Subway. Anyway, carrying on. So it felt like a treasure hunt to me, that I was just walking back and forth, this end to the other end, saying, okay, what looks interesting? So there were juices and smoothies and things like that, but then I wanted food. It was my lunch break. So I thought, okay, maybe I can have this focaccia. That looks okay. I started, it was like a cherry picking things. I was literally cherry picking stuff from the things that I could see in the showcases. And then I started asking more shops. Ultimately, what helped me out was that there was a cinema in this mall as well. And outside the cinema, there was a shop which was like a coffee shop kind of shop. And they had a lot of sandwiches and baguettes kind of things. And they had a nice baguette which was mozzarella and tomato and basil, I think, and it was a seeded baguette, so all vegetarian, and coffee. So ultimately it was a good deal because it cost me about €8 for the whole thing, for the baguette and the coffee as well. And if you have been to Starbucks in the UK, you will know that if you go to Starbucks, you will end up paying about 10 to 15 pounds for any two things that you can get. The coffee is about £5. So I got the coffee and the baguette, and thankfully the baguette turned out to be quite nice. I just sat there, watched some movie on my phone with the Bluetooth earbuds, and then just had the food. And after I finished the food and the coffee, then I went to the supermercado, which is the supermarket, which was also in the mall. I had seen that twice before, but not been inside. Today, I wanted to go in because, I was working from the hotel, so I could take a longer break if I did not have a meeting in that time. Thankfully, my company doesn't force you to work specific hours and doesn't expect you to be on the computer every minute of the day, and then we are judged based on the output. So I knew that I could take a longer lunch break and then go back and then do some more work. I went into the supermercado and it was fantastic. If you ever go to Europe, if you have never been to Europe, this is my advice to you. If you want to have fun, go to a supermarket. And it's not fun like a circus way, but it's fun like you will find so many different kinds of food, which is nice, interesting, delicious food, both meat and vegetarian stuff. They have really nice fruits, and when it comes to desserts, when it comes to the sugary delights, oh my god, so much variety and usually quite good things. Okay, so you have heard my whole diatribe on that peste de nata thing, but this is all packaged stuff and it's usually quite good. And because even in UK, when I go to the market for fruits and for these kind of more variety of desserts, I usually go to these European markets. So we have one thing called Aldi and another one called Lidl. So Lidl has really nice fruit and they are very reasonably priced as well compared to some of the more upmarket supermarkets in UK. Like, you know, if you go to M&S or Waitrose or Ocado, all of them are quite expensive. Tesco is also expensive. But if you go to Lidl, Lidl is much more reasonable. So for things that you know are good there, or things for which you know you can get the same brands in Lidl, go to Lidl. So I go there probably once or twice a month. I go get some fruits and get some desserts and some smoothies and stuff like that. So I know that European supermarkets are quite nice. So this one was also very nice. So much variety, like aisles and aisles full of biscuits and eclairs and chocolates, dark chocolate, chocolate with nuts in them, white chocolate, truffles, wafers, you name it. Oh, so many things. So I got some macaroons from there. I got a Lindt, you know, the Lindt dark chocolate with hazelnuts. I quite like that. So I got that one. And then there were some new things that I tried from there as well. Got some fruits, got a little bit of juice. And in the end, my total was like 32 euros. So in UK, in Lidl, it would have been probably the same. But in a different market, it would have been about 40-50 quid. So it's cheaper. And if you are going to a more expensive country, like for example, I've heard, not been there yet, but I've heard that Iceland is very expensive. So if you go to Iceland, the country, not the supermarket used to be cheap. I think it's closed down now. But if you go to Iceland or more like Norway, these kind of expensive countries, it's better to go to supermarkets, because in supermarkets you will find things that will be more reasonable. And for me, I have realized after so many different trips that it's always okay to buy more rather than less. So if I buy, let's say, like 10 different types of biscuits and chocolates and eclairs, I'll be staying there under 3 days, so I can have some of that in that time. Especially it is my insurance. If in the evening, if I don't feel like going out, or if I can't get delivery, I'm having issues with the apps, anything like that, or if I'm not very hungry, I can just have like a couple of biscuits and a tea and then just go to bed. So that's my insurance. I did not need to use it, but yeah, I like sweets. What can I say? I have no excuse. I just love sweets so much. But if I don't eat that in those 3 days, then I have the ride to the airport, then I have the wait at the airport, then I have the flight where I won't be getting any food, and also then I have the long journey home from the airport to the station to my Doncaster, all of that. So there's a whole long way to go for those chocolates and biscuits. And also, even if I have anything saved, I could use that, you know, like I brought some of those chocolates back for my housemates. So you can always use chocolates. What I'm saying is you can't go wrong buying more chocolates rather than less. Take it with a grain of salt. By the way, they do use a grain of salt in chocolate as well. That's how they bring out the flavor of chocolate. Anyway, that's just a little trivia for you that I saw on TV. But here's the thing, I did buy all of those things. My only concern was that because I was traveling with only one small backpack, which is like an under-seat bag, I did not know if I would have space for that. And usually my strategy is that I don't take too many clothes with me. Okay, I have gone over this vain part of my life when I used to be young and I needed to have choices every day, that I want to have 10 t-shirts for 3 days so that I can choose which one I want to wear. Now I go with only one t-shirt that's on my back, that's it, nothing in the bag. I have like pair of pajamas, that's fine. Pants also, I took jeans this time I think. Yeah, but usually I try not to take too many clothes, so that leaves space in the bag. And then from there I buy magnets, I buy some t-shirts, sometimes socks, and chocolates and biscuits and stuff like that, like food kind of stuff, so that I can carry in the bag. This time also, when I got out of the hotel, the bag was very heavy because it was full of all of those things that I bought there. But I did pack everything in one bag and they did not ask me to wait at the airport, so I was okay. But yeah, so this supermarket trip was quite nice. I got a lot of loot out of there, and then I had that juice and macaroons and stuff like that over the next 3 days. Then after that I had to work a little bit more, and which was okay. It's a necessary evil, as I've said. Work is a necessary evil. Then in the evening, once I finished it, I usually take a nap, but this time I did not have time for a nap because I wanted to catch the sunset. And so I got ready, changed, put my boots on, because Portugal, especially Lisbon, is a place where you want to have comfortable shoes that you can walk in for a long time, especially uphill and downhill on cobbled streets with rocks and pebbles and all kind of things. So I had only taken my boots, so I was good. I knew about this before already, so I took those shoes. So I got out down to the lobby and I asked the reception people as to, okay, this is what I want to do. I want to take some nice sunset pictures. Where should I go? So there was a nice lady there. She told me a few spots. I said, okay, I've been there. So she told me like this Castelo de Sao Jorge. So it is spelled Jorge, but it's not George, it's Jorge. Yeah, it's Portuguese spelling, pronunciation. So she told me about that. I thought, I've been there. But then when I saw, sometimes you have to shut up and listen to the other person, which I try to do once in a while. So I saw that she was pointing to a point further than where I had been. So I had been to the Alfama district. I had taken that panoramic shot of the, the orange roofs and the sea and everything, and one little church which I thought was the castle. It wasn't the castle. So she gave me directions on the map. I said, okay, that's fine. Then I called a Bolt because I did not have enough time to fool around with e-scooters this time, and also because I had been to the Alfama district one time, so I knew that those roads, they were not suitable for e-scooters. It's just not possible to ride e-scooters there. They are very cobbled with big rocks kind of thing. Yeah, they're not in the good condition as well, so you don't want to go there on a scooter. So I just took a Bolt, and Bolt cost me about €6, so probably like £5, and it took me further from where I had been before on those small streets where tram 28 also goes. And this was the problem, that you had to walk from there as well because it could not go all the way to the castle. So okay, so that's good, because one thing that I like more in a taxi than an e-scooter, more comfortable obviously, but also is when I'm in the taxi, I'm in the back seat, so I can just take lots of footage of the city. And I was lucky enough to get a nice shot of the bridge of 25th April as well from the taxi window. So it was nice that way. And then I got, was it this taxi or another taxi? No, it was the other taxi. No, it was this taxi. I don't know. If the pictures are there, it was this taxi. So anyway, so we got to the castle. I walked from there, and then the biggest problem was that it was paid. It was not a free castle. So it was, I think, about £12, €15, something around that. So I actually asked them, it's like, oh, I want to just go to that point, like, the wall just opposite the entrance. Do I still have to pay the full price? They said, yeah. Because you have to ask, because sometimes it can be two different tickets. Sometimes there's like a different ticket for the full access to the castle or whatever the place you're visiting, and there's a smaller one for just a small part of that or the outside of that, something like that. So it's worth asking. Could have saved €15 if they had said, or some money if they had said, no, for that you can just go in, but they did not. So yeah, took the ticket, went in, and it was quite worth it right away, because even as you walk to the wall, you can see the whole Lisbon city spread in front of you, like a wide panorama. So you will need a big, really big panorama to like 3 or 4 tries to actually get it all in one. It was not that kind of cinematic kind of look that you would want to have the panorama for that, but it was a nice view. And the bridge was in the distance, but still it was unencumbered. There was nothing in between. Like, you remember that Mirador de Saint Catarina that I talked about on the second day when I was there, found this place, went there, and it was like not a clear view of the bridge, so you could not take good pictures. From here, you could take good pictures. You still needed a little bit of a zoom, but it was a good frame, and because of the time of day, it was sunset, the golden hour, so all the views were good, and the castle itself was really nice for some pictures. So if I had gone there earlier, if I had not been working, I should have gone there earlier, and then I could take some pictures of the castle as well. But because this time the sun was setting, so I did not want to go anywhere too far to miss the sunset from that spot that I had already chosen. And also by this time I was developing a little bit of blisters on my feet, so I was not interested in walking too much. Yeah, so not too bad at this point. It was okay. It got worse later on in the trip. You will see that in the next episodes. But no, I would not show you pictures of blisters. That's just gross. Okay, I would not gross you out. I'll just tell you about them. But it kind of served as my motivation that I didn't want to go up climbing any stairs at this time, especially stone stairs that I would have to climb down in the sun after sunset in the dark. Okay, I'm smart that way. I'm very much of a coward, and that I attribute to my smartness. Okay, so yeah, but from here there was a long wall, and then you could walk around on this, I don't know what you would call it, gallery, corridor, whatever, but it was really cinematic. So there were lots of different places, and if you are the kind of person who likes to take a lot of selfies in vacation spots, this would be a very nice place for you to take selfies where there are trees, there's a sunset, there's a bridge in the background in the little bit distance, but there's also very nice cinematic walls. I don't know how to explain this expression like cinematic walls, but I know if you take lots of pictures you will get what I'm saying, that when you look at these things, there's like nice textures and nice colors or shades of the same colors, and with the evening light you can see that this is going to look great in pictures, and it did. So, but I was not taking any selfies. I was just taking the sunset pictures and the panorama and the views and doing some video clips for my vlog. So I was happy with that. The recommendation from the hotel staff was really good. Now, once I finished there, it was not a very long place. They're like, you can't stay there for too long because they're just taking the pictures. There's nothing much to do there. Then I thought, okay, I'm hungry now. Every day it was the same story. Once you take the sunset pictures, then you are hungry. So went back to ChatGPT and Google, my two assistants, and I asked, okay, where can I go for a nice meal today, which is also vegetarian? So he told me one place, then he told me another place. So I called a Bolt again. I think I walked a little bit, came down from there on foot because I had to, for part of the day, no taxi goes there, but also I was looking for some souvenirs. I was looking for some postcards. I was looking for some fridge magnets as well. So walk down a little bit, and you will find this. This is another pro tip that I can give you. The closer a shop is to a place of interest, like if it's near a castle or near a sightseeing site, any kind of monument, the same things will be more expensive. I don't know if you already knew this, but I just figured out that it's actually very noticeably different as you keep getting closer and closer to a point. So if you want something, come to the normal city center and then buy your souvenirs there, unless you find something that is really that you just want it, your heart is set on it. If not, don't do it. Do it somewhere further down. But this is something you will love about Lisbon, which I did, is that the streets of Lisbon are so nice to walk in. Like Alfama type districts, they are so nice to walk in. Physically, they are not nice to walk in as well because they are like rocky and slippery, those smooth stones. They are not really good, so you have to be careful in walking. But the vibe of the place, how comfortable and safe you feel there, is just amazing. So I was enjoying just walking down there and then looking into different shops, trying to see what t-shirts I could buy, if I can buy a cap here, socks and things like that. So I went into one shop and I found some t-shirts which were not in my size. The nice ones are not in my size. The ones that were not in my size, I did not like the designs there, so I'm very picky as well sometimes. So I just happened to chat with that shopkeeper, and he was from Bangladesh. I met a lot of Bangladeshi people in Portugal, and I've told you the reason for that the immigration laws used to be much more friendly to foreigners there than rest of the Europe. So people used to go there, and I've been told that now they have changed a bit more, become more strict. But there were lots of Bangladeshi people, and I enjoyed talking to them as well, because you get a different kind of angle of the culture and of the place, because they can tell you what is good there, what is not good there, because they have come from outside and made a life for themselves there. So I ended up chatting with this guy for about I think about 10-15 minutes. I was just chatting with him, and then he said, okay, we have another shop, and then you can go there and check if you have the designs there, and they will give you. So I had already bargained with him for, I'm trying to remember, I think it was like 8 euros that he was willing to give me the t-shirts. I think it was 8 euros, because it started with 12, and then it was he compromised for me, like, okay. I said, okay, so how much will they charge me? So he said, okay, I'll message them and they will charge you the same, don't worry. So it was a shop just like a one left turn after that, and a few steps. So I found the shop, and they said, yeah, he has messaged about you, so okay, here are the t-shirts, go have at it, look at everything you want. So they showed me all the t-shirts. I found 2 or 3 good designs. I found some socks and a couple of fridge magnets. So got that. I chatted with them a little bit as well. They were also Bangladeshi people, obviously. That's how they knew each other. So yeah, I got some good stuff from there. And then from there, then I said, okay, now I have to find food, because I'm getting really, really hungry. So I came down a bit more, and I actually found myself in the Praça da Comercia district. So this is all near the river, near the place where the bridge is, the 25th April bridge. So like, okay, so Lisbon is not such a huge city after all. So every day I found myself in this area somehow. Several times I went to some different places, but then I came back to this place either on the public transport or just walking. So this time, because I was coming from a different angle, so I saw this big arch, which is called the Arco de Rua Augusta, probably called August Arch, maybe in English, I don't know. They seem to like naming their monuments and bridges and stuff with names of months, because like 25th of April bridge. But I got some different view, and here I found the picture that I've seen so many times also on reviews and vlogs and stuff. It's just a long corridor with arches. So that was here. So okay, so I found it without actually looking for it, and there were some nice good shots for my videos as well. So yeah, it was a good area to hang around in. There were lots of tourists there, lots of people hanging out, so cafes and stuff as well, some of them. So I said, okay, where do I want to go for a proper dinner now? So after walking around for a little bit, then I started my search from the Google Maps and ChatGPT, and settled on this place called Green Affair. So I called the taxi again, Bolt, and went there. It was a nice place. One thing I don't understand it, why was it not more crowded? Because the service was very good. The place was big enough to seat a lot of people, and they had good food. So only reason I can think of is the Portuguese people maybe don't like vegan food so much, so they want to have the meat as well, which also kind of explains as to why I was having so much trouble finding vegetarian food in all the shops. So yeah. But here I got some good food. It was I'll struggle to find the name of the dish now, but I ordered this dish that you can see on the screen. It was very nice. It tasted lovely. And for drink, vegan places have these fancy, funky kind of drinks. So I asked for that, and then the waiter suggested something. I said, okay, I'll go with that. I did not like that very much. So I said, okay, I didn't like this one. Can I have something else, like something different? So it got me something different, and they did not charge me for the other one, even though it was my choice. They could have easily charged me. So that's what I mean, that they treated me well. The service was really good. Like, I never had to wait for too long to get a waiter's attention. There were only a few tables busy. But food wise also good, and not very expensive as well. So yeah, that was a good dinner. And if you are a vegan person or a vegetarian person going to Lisbon and you're struggling to find places where you can have good food, I would suggest look at the Green Affair. It's a nice place, and the vibe was also good. It was just not very busy. That's the only thing. Maybe it was too early, I don't know. But yeah, the food was good. So yeah, try that. After that, there was nothing much left to do but take a Bolt back to the hotel, do some my note-taking, writing stuff that I do, and copy the footage and go to bed. So this was day 4 and it was quite interesting, but day 5 was the most interesting one because of the amazing pictures I got. And you have to subscribe and get the notification because you don't want to miss that episode. Thank you for watching. See you in the next one. Bye bye.